heated debate going on here for sure, and one that's well worth it, at least I think. Before we meet Wendy, who I was telling you about, who's raising her 2-year-old daughter Ashlyn to hate, I guess, who put her little baby at 1 month old in her first KKK outfit. Before we talk to Wendy, I wanted this gentleman to ask his question that you wanted to ask before the break.
Right. Well, one thing I'd like to start out saying is the gentleman in the black cap down here in the front row stood up before and said, I was born white and I want to die white. Well, I can guarantee you, sir, you will. Okay? I just want to let you know that, okay? Okay? Just want to let you know that you will, okay? And you know what? I was born a Jew and I'm going to die a Jew, and I'm proud of that too, okay? But a white Jew, not a green Jew. Excuse me, okay?
What was the question?
Yeah, the question was, I was just curious, but please.
Talmudic child of Satan, right?
Yeah. Jeff, listen, I respect your views, respect my views, okay? But I'd like to continue saying the question that I had was, I was just curious to know, and I can ask this to the young lady up there as well as to the 2 gentlemen and the 3 down in the front row as well. Were you people maybe abused as children, or seriously?
Listen.
No, so I'm being serious.
No, listen, I grew up in a middle-class family. Let me answer the question. Please. Every time somebody comes up with an idea that's a little bit frightening, especially to the Jewish people, you have to be kooks, crazies, wackos, or child abusers. You're the child abusers and the child molesters, and you know it.
I'm just asking a simple question. I wanted an answer. If it was no, then I can accept that.
No, of course not. Of course not.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, a woman mentioned before that we're all racially mixed, something that I do believe in. One thing I'm just curious, if, let's say you were in an accident that required a blood transfusion that saved your life, and...
You wouldn't take none of your blood, that's you.
I'd rather die than take it.
And you found out afterwards...
And we take this off.
One at a time, please.
And let's say you found out afterwards that the 5 pints that you received that saved your life, one came from someone who's Chinese, someone who's Spanish, someone who's black, whatever the religions. What would happen to you? Would you be now allowed, with that blood of all this interracially blood flowing through your veins, would you be allowed in your society that's all fenced in? Would you be allowed back into that group?
Because remember, there is a law that says that 135th rule, 1 drop of black blood, you're black.
I'd take my life. I couldn't live with the shame.
Thank you. But let's answer that question, because when it comes down to life and death, baby, the only thing you better see if you need blood is red. And I want to ask you, if you found out that blood, and that's a great question, came from someone other than a non-white person, would you sit up there in your dying bed in an operating room and say, oh, no?
Yeah, of course.
Wendy's there shaking her head. She says she'd say no, too. Wendy, you don't like people who aren't white, do you?
No.
I didn't. You kind of made me feel kind of strange. I always come up on the Rolonda show when I have guests and go up and say, hi, how you doing? Welcome. This is my home. I like to treat people as if this is my living room. Wendy wouldn't look me in the eye. Wendy wouldn't shake my hand. Wendy was very, very... Wendy was raised that way, you say. Your grandpa, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Come on, stand up. That's your grandbaby there, right?
Proud.
1 month old, wore a KKK outfit.
White and proud.
White and proud.
1 month old.
And you're proud of that?
Yes, ma'am. Very proud.
You're very proud. You're going to shape that little girl to hate when she's so full of love, I bet she is.
No.
Can't answer it, can you? Wendy, why don't you answer for Grandpa?
You think this is a big
Go
joke?
on, Wendy. Come on. No, I'm talking to Wendy now. I want to hear from Wendy. Wendy wouldn't talk to me, say hello, so I want to hear her talk now. Go on, Wendy.
I wouldn't take anybody, no, non-white blood. That would be the same as mixed.
So you would die?
Yes, I would. Just like Jehovah's Witness won't have a blood transfusion. Same thing. I will not take anybody's
Sir, don't
blood.
interrupt your grandchild, okay? Go on.
No, it's just like Jehovah's Witness won't have a blood transfusion. I won't accept no blood that's non-white.
I guess it gave you a great deal of pride to dress up your little daughter at 1 month old in a KKK hood and robe.
Yes.
And what would you like to see happen to people like me in this nation? And talk to me. You know what we do on the Rolonda show a lot? Look at me straight in the eye, and I want you to talk to me. Really. Really. And you know something? And I respect whatever you say. Don't call me any words, any names. But I want you to look me in the eye and tell me, Rolonda, this is what I'd like to see happen to people who look like you.
Not necessarily I'd like anything to happen to you. I want to be separate. I want to be my own kind and improve my own race.
What will that mean for me?
Just like many black people have black power, Malcolm X. They want to improve their race and we want to improve ours.
Okay, I have no problem with that. Gung-ho, do that. But what does that mean for me?
Well, that means that we don't want to be around black people.
Okay.
We don't want to be around anybody that's non-white.
So does that mean that you'll move and go do your thing wherever you can and leave me alone?
If
or
the
does that mean
government
that...
split the United States in half and said this side whites, this side the other half, I'd be more than glad.
Well, I'm going to fight every day to make sure my government doesn't do that. But in the meantime, I just wonder what that means for me and people who look like me and people who don't look like me who don't happen to be white. Is there some kind of movement, folks, that y'all want to do any type of harm? Do you want to do anything? I mean, suppose the place that you want to move to has people who are different than you. You going to push them all out of their home?
Not if it was split in half. We want to be to ourselves like we live now. We live in an all-white county. We're to ourselves. There's low crime in our county. It's not like up here. Nobody gets murdered in our county. If
people get murdered every place, ma'am.
Not in our county. Not in our county.
Wait. I'll let you have a comment in a minute. I got to take a quick commercial break, and I'll get back to you, Grandpa. Coming up next, we're going to meet this young woman who says don't hate her just because she's a skinhead. We'll have her explain that right after this. We'll be right back in a minute, folks, and I'll come to you. I'll come back to you.